Hey everybody, another week, another video. So before we start, let's do the usual, or will be usual anyway. If you like this video and you want more, subscribe, like it, share it, comment, all that kind of wonderful stuff. If you do that, that'd be great and help me sort of motivate me to do more. So this video, this week's conversation piece, and let me try and hold my phone sort of straight because I don't have any support. But anyway, this started as a sort of a comment made and a very small conversation of that comment. And it got me thinking, and the comment was something similar to this. So this is a university student that's about to go into his third year, having done a year out, and I can't remember the exact sentence he said, but it went along the lines of he believed that sort of degree university work these days would be easier than, say, when I went to university, and the basis of that is because you have AI support for doing research and help. You have, a vast internet of information. People have had these problems before, and yeah, I mean, I think that is a fairly true comment, because when I did my degree, sort of a long time ago now, none of that was there. The internet was very immature, so you kind of had some very basic web page stuff. I think images were just starting to appear on the internet when I was there. A lot of it was not the greatest images out there, and very little. Although there was some web pages around IT, very little, kind of nothing like today. You've not got your helpful kind of code talk web pages that are there now. Definitely no AI. And the best you could do was to go to the news groups and either search for a comment that someone's made or ask a question, and hopefully one of the gurus will answer it. But a majority of the learning, the research, was books, basically, and chatting to people. So, you couldn't just go on the internet and search for something and get hundreds of different kind of perspectives and information and help and support, and people have actually had the same problem. And then going on to AI that will give you kind of an answer as well. There's none of that kind of stuff then, which there is now. So in that sense, it is probably easier to do work now than it was then, because you have more input resource. That said, there are a lot more, languages, flavors, APIs, and more complexity, and even the degrees. You have more choice now than when I certainly went. You didn't really have much control over the subjects, whereas now you can, in some of them at least, you can make choices of things you want to do in your final year, for example. Although you had that choice, obviously, for your second year of the kind of the courses you want to do, but they were more linked to like the computer degree, whereas now I think as part of the computer degree there are different flavors of things you can do. So although it's a lot more variety, a lot more work, and in that case it can be a little bit more difficult, because it's not as simple as like, oh yeah, everybody does exactly the same thing, because they don't necessarily. But you do have a vast support of, obviously you can't go to AI and ask it to write your final report, because I don't know, but you can help it, give you ideas and support, and maybe little chunks that you can pull out, as and use and rewrite. But in that sense, it is easier now because of the support that you can get to do stuff. But I don't necessarily think it's any easier now than it is. Yes, you have those tools, whereas we just had books, but you still have to do the same amount of work, unless you're one of these people that gets your AI to write the code for you and then you use it. I don't know. I'm not going to going to make any assumptions here, but if you do, you know, lecturers have seen it all, so it's a risk if you try to do that. Believe me, try and write it yourself. But anyway, as I say, just my thoughts. I mean, I've got, after that I can talk, not today, but talk about working as a graduate, what it was like then as opposed to what it's like now. So that's very different as well. But yeah, if you're a student now, hopefully you're having good fun. I really, you know, I although it costs a lot more money now, I think that doing a graduate degree is kind of a fun thing to do, but it's far more expensive now than it used to be. Right, I'm going to go. Food for thought. I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now.